love fantasy books. I love everything about them, the magic systems and the quests and the dragons. But one of my absolute favorite thing in fantasy books are the friendships. These are 5 absolutely fantastic examples of friendships. And sometimes they are the best, not just in the obvious ways, so not in really dramatic moments or big battle scenes, but these are friendships where maybe someone says a truth that people don't want to hear. Someone stays when you feel like it's impossible. Maybe someone sees something that the other person could never see in themselves. Each of these fantasy friendships made me want to be a better friend myself. The things that I love about Harry and Hermione, and I'm just holding this book because I didn't want to hold the whole Harry Potter series, is that Hermione is willing to be an uncomfortable friend. She is willing to question Harry. She really challenges his instincts, even if it makes him really angry, even if it brings up really unwanted emotions in him. Hermione literally never once in this entire series prioritizes being liked by Harry, being liked by the boy who lived, over being honest with him. Harry often brings to Hermione this lie that's like, if you love me, then you're always going to be on my side. And Hermione's friendship really challenges him in that. Hermione shows him that being on Harry's side often just means pushing back. And she teaches him that friction is not just resentment or rejection. This is an investment in their future together. And so from this friendship, what I really took away was that being a good friend isn't just standing beside someone. It is caring enough to challenge them, even when you know that it's going to get messy. In Silver Flames, we have a perfect example of friendship as one of healing. So if Harry and Hermione are an example of friendship as being one to challenge, for Nesta and Gwyn and Emorie, friendship really is an example of a place where you can be completely safe exactly in who you are. And honestly, their friendship doesn't really start in a great place. They all have a shared pain, but one thing that they never try to do is fix each other. But they do expect everyone to be working on themselves. They don't demand perfection. They show up for each other consistently. They really reject this lie of I have to be better before I deserve any kind of connection at all. The connection is what heals them. And with them, we get to see that healing is not something that happens in isolation. It happens when you stay. And if we want to talk about friends that stay, we have to talk about Kaladin and Adolin. Some of Kaladin's biggest battles are internal. In his struggles with depression, he struggles with his own worth over and over and over again. And one of depression's biggest lies for him is that there will be no one who stays, that he will drive everybody away. And I love that Adolin does not try to solve Kaladin. He just stays. He shows up exactly when Kaladin needs him, and he's literally just there. Along with many of the other lies that Kaladin tells himself, one of his biggest lies is that he's literally just not worth the effort, that he is only worth as much as he can produce, as much as he can protect other people. Adolin's quiet and very consistent loyalty show that it's not always about having the right answers in friendship. It's just about being there. Adolin, again, he doesn't heal Kaladin. That is ultimately Kaladin's decision and his journey. But Adolin can remind Kaladin that in that journey, he is not going to be alone. And when you talk about changing, I feel like Manon and the 13, and specifically Manon and Asterin, is an example of that friend who sees who you can become and is willing to help you get there. A friend who is willing to push you into the change that they know that you can be. Asterin loves Manon very much, but this is not a status quo kind of friendship. Their friendship exists fully in a world where compassion is seen as weakness. Asterin does not just support Manon, she awakens something incredibly powerful within her. She calls her to be the leader that they all need. She challenges this identity that Manon puts on herself to prevent herself from stepping into her destiny. And through this connection, Manon starts to question everything, and their friendship becomes the catalyst for her change. One of the most powerful things about friendship is that it can show you a version of yourself that you did not think was possible, whether through your own fear, maybe through your own desire to not rock the boat. As much as it is important for friends to be there and to support each other, sometimes the best friendships are the ones that push you to that change. And we cannot talk about friendship in fantasy at all without talking about Frodo and Sam, because if some friendships push you to change, there are some friendships that are so deep and so enduring that your friend will become that change for you when you can't do it. Sam doesn't just support Frodo emotionally, though he does do that. He is literally able to carry out the task when Frodo can't do it at all. And this is where we see a challenge to one of the biggest lies I think that we face today, which is that it's really only valuable if you do it by yourself. Every burden in life is meant to be shared. In Frodo and Sam, we see this incredibly clearly. Love shows up the strongest in the hardest moments and in our deepest failures. And sometimes being a good friend isn't just about making it easier or pushing someone to change. It's just refusing to let them push through that journey alone. Reassuring them that you will be there when they can't, and that you won't let them lose sight of what their goal is. What makes each of these friendships just really stay with us, because these are all just really classic examples of friendship, is that they are not just about the characters becoming stronger, though that often happens. It's usually about these characters being able to be more honest with each other, honest about what they want, honest about what they're afraid of. These friends challenge each other, they heal each other, they stay with each other. And this is why they feel so real, because at the end of the day, being a good friend isn't about being perfect. It's not always about knowing what to say. It's just about reassuring someone that you will be there with them with whatever it is that they're going through. Let me know in the comments what fantasy friendships you would add to this list. Thank you so much for watching.